You are listening to the Photographic Podcast. Your hosts are Jay, Justin, Mike, and Valentine. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
Yo.
What's up?
All right. So, how do y'all feel about being a photographer, being a professional, or what you may deem as a professional? Do you deem yourself as a professional? Anybody?
I'd say no after what someone told me. Someone told me, or it was on Facebook underneath some post, and I was like, well, because my thing was I thought being a professional just meant like you were good at something and you knew your shit, but apparently it actually means that you're actually making money doing that thing, like it's your profession and you do it for a living. And I didn't really know that, so I was like, oh well, I guess I'm not a professional, or I will never be a professional because I don't really plan on doing it like full time or anything.
Sure.
Yeah,
What
I
about
guess
you, Mike?
I agree. I wouldn't consider myself a professional. I think we did kind of mention something like that before.
Mhm.
I would say that in some cases maybe we shoot on a professional level, but I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily a professional photographer.
Right. That's the
I mean,
weird
that's
part
just
of
my
it.
take on it anyway.
Right.
It's like you could be a badass photographer, but like you can be a hobbyist and be a badass photographer, but not necessarily be a professional photographer, even though you're awesome at it. Since
Yeah.
it's not your job, then you're not a professional. It's so weird.
Sure. What
Yeah, I
about
mean,
you, Valentine?
if you look at it
Valentine?
like sports, sorry to interrupt. If you look at it like sports or something like that, I mean, you can be a really good football player and maybe play football comparative to like a professional football player. But if you're not on a football team getting paid as your job to play football, then I would say that you weren't a professional. I
Professional.
think it's
Wow.
the same for
That's a
this.
good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
following
like
the
that.
same consensus as everybody else. If we're going by terminology, then no.
Mhm.
However, I'm going to sell myself as one. And if I know that I can get business off of it, and if that was something I wanted to do and I know I can do it, then yes, I'm a professional. So
Sure. Yeah. I'm an amateur that shoots at professional levels. I will do the work for
I
you.
like that.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Mm.
But I'm by no means a professional. I don't make a majority of my income off of it. I think for me, that's how I would put being a professional is like that's whatever you're doing is your bread and butter. Like you make your living off of it.
All right.
That's not me.
Well,
But
if you have multiple streams of income, and that's just one factor of it.
I mean,
That
I feel like when people say multiple streams of income, like a lot of those streams of income may be based around a central point. Like for us, it would be photography or videography, whatever. But like you may sell merch or you may sell like presets or something like that, but it's all related to the thing that you're actually a professional about. Like Peter McKinnon, he does videography and shoots commercials and he does all this sorts of stuff. He has multiple streams of revenue. He does coffee. He does brands for like clothing or backpacks or photography gear. He also does presets. He does video work. He does everything else, but it's all centered around visual arts. So I feel like that.
I feel like that kind of branched off. I mean, like if you think of how he first started off and his idea, and then how many more things he's influenced off it. I mean, yeah, he's built. I don't know, what did he start from photography first or videography, whichever.
I
But
think he
that
started
was
like real estate.
oh, that's a complete different.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing taking photos of real estate. I got to probably look at his
Yeah.
backstory, but kind of using real estate as the basis, and then it's like, okay, I can branch off and do these things because of it, and that provided multi streams of income. But I'm saying, okay, well, what if you have this, and of course, you want to build and expand on that one certain thing. But well, if I'm in this group, but I'm also doing something else completely not connected to that, and another thing connected to that.
Sure. Yeah.
Can you have multiple? Can you be a professional in multiple things? Like, because you make money off of being a mechanic, a photographer, and you own a dance studio. So you're a professional dancer, professional photographer. Like, you can be all those things, right?
I'm a professional content creator on Instagram.
Hey, I guarantee you somebody has that as their thing. I'm a professional content creator. What kind of content do you create? I do lifestyle stuff on Instagram. I'm a lifestyler.
Shout out to viewers that this is it's relating to you.
Yeah,
Balls.
sorry, I don't mean to like call y'all out. I mean, I kind of am, but you know, do what you
It's
do.
not a
It's
thing.
2021,
Content creator.
man.
Wait, so
Everything's a thing.
what exactly do you? What type of content do you create? Oh, I just do clothing hauls.
Right.
It's like, oh, but hey, if they're making money doing that, then hell.
Yeah, for real.
It looks like
Do
you're
what you
holding
do.
a shadow right now.
I know, right? Yeah, he's my little house panther.
That's what I
love it.
said.
I saw it in the background, and I was like,
He's like just going like this with his hands.
Yeah. Yeah, this is my cat. He's got 2 glowing eyes. He's adorable and kind of needy
Can-
sometimes.
Dude,
Can I get?
done a couple
Can I get you to
photos
do
of
this real quick? Just do this.
Scotty don't.
Yeah.
You've done a couple shots of your cat, right? I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah, he's on my Instagram. He's one of my favorite models because he does absolutely nothing, which is
But
super
still
easy.
photogenic.
Yeah,
nonetheless.
he's super photogenic when he's asleep.
He's the cutest darn thing you ever did see, as long as he ain't moving.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But animals in general are great models. That's kind of the fun part. It's like
Right.
everybody loves cats and dogs, so like take photos of those and practice that. But then again, it's kind of hard to communicate with cats and dogs, like what you want them to do, unless they're well trained. So
Yeah, I can imagine people who do pet photography. My dog, I try to take pictures of her, and oh my god.
Yeah.
So I don't have any news stories on photos because I'm behind as always. So I
Same.
try to keep up the expectation. But what's new in the film world? Y'all been doing some stuff.
Oh my.
Oh, we're back down that rabbit hole, huh?
Mike's dived farther down that rabbit hole than I will. He's starting to take things apart. I can't.
Oh wow.
No.
You mind caring to explain?
I'm a tinkerer by nature. I like to fix things and take things apart and figure out how they work if I can. Like, there's a limit. I don't have the funds to take some of the things as far down as I would like to. But I have replaced light seals on this camera that I got last week. I came across a really great deal, a really old camera that came with some really cool history. And when I got it, I was going through cleaning it up. It was in really good condition. It was a little bit dusty and dirty from being in storage for a long time, but I had gone through and changed out all the light seals, verified everything was functioning, and finally got to get through that roll today. I actually just developed the film right before we started this podcast, so I will scan that in later this evening and see how all that turned out.
So look forward for his. Are we going to be looking forward to a IG post sometime before the end of this week, or?
I'm always posting on Instagram. I actually started another Instagram just for film photography. So
as you
Go
can
follow
see
him.
it right
Oh my
here.
God.
Yeah, it's gonna be down in the description.
It'll be in the description, yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I had to do that because the way I'm approaching the film photography is going to be a little bit different than I was doing film, or digital, because digital, I feel like when you shoot raw, you have a little bit more power to control and fine tune a little bit more how you want things to look. But with film, I feel like that some of that capacity, while not completely gone, is a little bit more limited. So I kind of wanted to approach it a little bit more naturally, like try to get the shots in frame and exposed, and with everything with the first shot each time that I do it, because it's kind of expensive to keep clicking the button. So
oh yeah.
Yep.
So I'm trying to keep it a little bit more natural looking, however the film stock looks, whatever the colors that come through, I'm only adjusting a little bit of a light to kind of clean up the image, maybe tighten it the way it looks. Other than that, I'm not
Mhm.
going to be doing any other edits, and that will all go on my film Instagram page.
I'd like to dive into that thought a little bit more, but a quick question: when it comes to your IG and your posting, and this for everybody, um, I think the most relevant one I'm thinking of right now is Jalyssa's and the way that you do your style, where I believe you like to do the pieces of each of your photos, and I think you'll do one of the full actual photo itself.
Mhm.
It's like, what was your thoughts behind doing that? Like, I don't think, did you start that right off the rip, or you kind of like retailored your IG to
Mhm.
do that?
I just started doing it. I've been doing it for a while though, ever since like I think last year. Um,
Hmm.
it's just so people can see like a more close up view, but you do have to be like on the tile version of Instagram. You can't just be like scrolling like straight down, or else it just looks
Hmm.
like two cut up pictures. But it's just so you can get like a close up. Like if you look on the side by side, it's like a bigger picture instead of just that small spot on Instagram that you get whenever you post something.
That makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it certainly does make that grid look real cool.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
Yeah.
I started it because of unorganization kind of in a way because like before my stuff wasn't really like cohesive. It was like I'd be editing different ways and stuff like that in different times of the day, like nighttime. Like I do nighttime, daytime, time lapses, and all this other shit. And I was like, how do I make this look like organized clutter? I
Yeah.
call it organized clutter because it was still like a whole bunch of different stuff, but at the same time, it was like I don't know. I tried to make it look a certain way, but so
Right.
that's really why I started, so it can look more organized.
So I was trying this. I mean, I was doing the exact same thing where I would just put everything everywhere, nothing really flowed
Mm-hmm.
together. I was like, oh, I like this picture, put it up. I like that one,
Yep.
put it up. I was like, oh, this month I'm gonna do black and whites, and then in the middle of black and white month, I'm like, oh, there was this color picture, guys. You gotta check this out. So then after that, I was like, okay, let me change it up a little bit, and then I started to do every time I did a photo shoot for something like a fashion show or whatever, I would do probably like my 3 top photos on that line.
Mm-hmm.
But then after I was like, I don't really like this anymore. So then I was like, you know what? Let me do maybe uh, one photo of that person and then maybe 2 photos of somebody else. And I've just still been kind of jumping around. I haven't really found that idea, but now I'm
Yeah.
just like, F it. You know what? Put it on there. You like it, take it for what it is, and just keep pushing. Look
Yeah.
at somebody else's page or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just try to keep whatever's on the top of my feed that you're seeing when if you were to first go to the page or more recent posted content. I try to keep it a little bit more up to date. So whatever my mood is, whatever kind of kick that I'm on at the time, that'll be what you see at the
Mhm.
top. And I usually won't post anything that's older unless it kind of fits with the theme of whatever I've already been posting. I try not to go off theme too much unless I feel like that I got into a groove of shooting something else and I needed to transition. But that's kind of how I post to Instagram anyway.
And before I guess Justin, do you have one or?
No, I'm kind of random. Whatever is the most recent on my feeds, the most recent thing that I've shot. Um, as far as like a pattern, I used to try to do like 3 photos. I used to try to keep it banded, so like you'd have 3 black and whites, 3 color, 3 black and white, 3 color, so on and so forth. But honestly, I don't shoot content like that, so it's just kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
Recently, I've kind of run out of content, so I'm not
No,
really
don't tell the
posting
fans
much.
that.
Hey,
It'll
it's
hurt
what
our
it is. Like
algorithms.
I'm not. I'm not like. I have a full-time job. This is all just for fun. So like, I shoot when I get to shoot. I create
Mm-hmm.
when I have something that I want to create. But like, I'm not trying to like force a daily grind of like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every single week. I have something. Sometimes I don't. So
Yeah.
is what it is.
When you said I have a full-time job, first thing I thought about was playing Call of Duty,
Yeah.
and somebody's beating you like every single batch, and you're like, man, freaking die guy, man, I got a real job. I don't stay on here all day freaking playing the game, getting good. But anyways,
I mean, I wish that I could I wish photography was a full-time job for me, but it's not. Until it pays $25 an hour, 40 hours a week, I can't make photography a full-time job. It's just a hobby for me. But at the same time, I don't think I'd ever want it to be like a full-time job, because then it's not fun. It's work, and I like this because it's fun. It's challenging, but it's not like if I screw up, I'm gonna lose the roof over my head. It's if I screw up, I'm gonna lose a few followers on Instagram. Oh no!
Glad you said that, because I think we've had a couple of people mention that whenever you should instead do it, or if you were to get paid for it, do the ones that you actually are always interested in. And even with that, I feel like if that's like you have a job for specifically the type of photography you like doing, even with that, at some point you're gonna get burnt out. So I don't think there's ever such thing as liking
fun out of it.
Yeah.
Like it turns it into work. And I think that's the worst thing that we could ever do to something that we enjoy, is to put other people's expectations onto it and then try to meet those on a consistent basis. Sure, I'm not going to share every single bad photo that I make, but at the same time, I don't always shoot banger shots. That's just not realistic, but I'll do what I can.
But you said, Mike, you said earlier you was talking about posting frequency, and I know with all of us, we sometimes have a large amount of posts we do. I know I was posting sometimes 3 or 4 times a day, and it was all based on feel. And then I completely stopped, and then I started again, and I was like, I'll probably let me put a couple out here, and completely doing whatever it's against, I guess, whatever IG algorithm there is. But I was gonna ask, probably for other people that's trying to get their followers up, because I know all 3 of y'all probably have a pretty good followers amount. What would y'all say would be a good posting amount, maybe on a daily, weekly, monthly basis for them to gain some more followers?
I mean, honestly, I think that consistency is obviously key, but doing something daily is a lot of work. If you don't have the free time to dedicate to making 365 days worth of content, don't try that method. Maybe try 2 or 3 times a week and post at the same time, same day every single week. That way, A, you've got your own schedule, and B, you can schedule your things a little bit, schedule your posts a little bit, curate your content a little bit, and put a little bit more thought into it. Because a daily posting schedule is just it's just crazy. Unless you take a photo shoot and you take 500 images and you turn it into 500 posts, which
I've seen that some people do that. They actually post the same picture but different short amounts. They'll take a picture like this and post this one, and then the person will have their face like this and they'll post it again, and I'm like, no, that's not how this works. But I can't judge it, but I'm like, I don't think that's how it works.
Whatever garners you an audience and you're happy with, post it. But I think that at least as a photographer and as an artist, I think that you should take a little bit more time to think about what you post, and think about what you post, why you post it, and who you're trying to reach when you post it. Because all of those things will help you build an audience, and it'll also help you get better as an artist. Instead of posting every single photo where it starts out like this, and then like this, and then whatever next pose that's barely different from the last one, pick the best one out of those 5 and post that one. It's and hard. Move on. Yeah. Sure. I know the culling process is also hard, but when you go through all the photos and you look at them until you hate them, post the one you hate the least. Just a little bit of extra thought goes a long way into telling your audience that you actually care about your content and you care about giving them the best, instead of just posting everything you got.
Yeah,
That's
I like
makes
to
sense.
view it doing it like highlights anyway. So
Hmm.
like besides the culling process, obviously that's a whole thing. But when I do make the post, whatever goes up online for the world to see, I think that I have other images that are worthy of being posted, but just like that, I don't want too much of the exact same content coming up,
Right.
you know? So like if we go on a shoot, like when Jaleesa and I went to Garland and shot that downtown area, I know I posted a few extra photos of that theater, but it was just badass. So
Oh man.
Yeah.
get over it. But but there were some other shots down there that I took that I thought were pretty good, and I didn't post all of those. But I saved some of that stuff so that when I do run out of content, I have something I can go
Yeah.
back to, and then I
There you
can push
go.
them back up later. So yeah,
Right.
Yeah, that theater was badass with the you could see like the trees and like the light fixtures like right above.
yeah,
So it like showed kind of like where you were standing at.
right.
That was
Yeah, all that one with because you can see the raindrops through the trees that was coming down and
Mhm.
everything. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. Those are
I
the
really
lighting
like
in those was
shooting that.
awesome. I like
Mhm.
that.
Oh, it was just luck, man. Like it was hazy and foggy. That night whenever I'd left the house, it was foggy outside. They had like some sort of weather alert for fog in Dallas.
Mhm.
And then I got up to I-20 leaving my house, and there was traffic. It was just backed up. It was so bad.
Mhm.
So like just the weather conditions with the rain and the fog and everything else, and plus the lights there at that theater kind of just worked out. That's one of
Mhm.
those you can't really plan that to get
Right.
get it look that good. So I felt really good about a lot of those shots that night. That's which is
Mhm.
uncommon. I don't always
It
feel
was
that
like a
great about
crazy
sections of
probably.
shoots. Sometimes it's like, oh, I like a few of these, but man, there were several on that night that I liked.
Yeah, it was actually a good spot. It goes back to where you were saying, like, have you ever shot in your little town or something? It's like, who the hell thinks to go to downtown Garland? But because we were looking for that sign and it wasn't lit up
Yeah.
how we wanted, it was like, let's go to downtown Garland, whatever. And we go down there and it's like different. It was kind of old timey a little bit. Maybe that was why it had a little character to it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, y'all got some great shots out there. I really wish I could have gone.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have
Hey.
been cool.
Mhm.
So my last question of the day is again for Mike. He was talking earlier about we was talking about film and framing. So like how many pictures should you try to take on like when you're trying to capture just one look? So one thing that I do sometimes whenever I can't really capture a pose. So whenever I'm like working with two models, for instance, and I visualize a certain pose and I pose them the best way I can, but I just don't know which angle I want to go with. So instead I do like burst shots and I just go around the whole server. What advice would you be like to say, okay, you have an idea, how many shots should I really be spending time taking? Because when it comes to the culling part, I am on my computer forever and I'm like, geez, I took way too many pictures.
Man.
Well, I'm not
As
always the
many as
best
it takes to
person
get the shot.
Yeah, that is one good answer. I was gonna say I'm not the person to necessarily answer how many different.
Uh-oh. Dudes. Did we lose him for a second?
Yeah,
No,
we
he's
lost
right
it.
here.
Or am I lagging?
Yeah.
angles and
Back.
poses for models.
It's like,
Back to what I was saying. So yeah,
sorry, Mike, we lost you there for a second.
Yeah, this happens. My internet fluctuates in and out occasionally. But I don't really pose models too much, so maybe I can't answer that question. I have a
But
general
let's do
rule for
landscape
me.
then.
Do what?
Landscape. So whenever you take your landscape pictures, like how many of those shots did you take? 3. Oh, see, well, we got an answer.
I can if it's landscape, I'll sit and I'll wait, or we'll set up and I'll try to get the light right. If it's long exposure, obviously, if we're shooting at night, it's a little bit different because you have to get at least a couple of test shots in and look to check your exposure for that because you're really kind of just going off of feel to some degree with that. Shooting film, I don't know yet. The few longer exposures that I've had, I've just done it based off of guessing, and I've been fortunate so far. So, but yeah, one.
one long exposure.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, with the trains stuff up at LBJ Skillman,
Mm-hmm.
I just, I kind of had an idea get a little bit of a drag for motion blur, and
Mhm.
I hope it works. So, but
Yeah, came
for
out good.
normal like landscape framing, sometimes I usually take about 3, and that's just because I want to catch maybe some people walking through the frame, and maybe I get framed up for a shot and a car drives through, and I didn't want that, so now I have to take another one. But I don't want to spend too much time, especially shooting something on the street. I don't want to spend too much time on it, because if you spend too much time, then the moment passes anyway. So
Fair enough. What about you, Joseph?
Oh, you're asking me.
And you can speak on it now because you do it with a lot of people. So,
Unfortunately, that's funny because on what was that on Sunday, you can guess how many pictures I took in Grapevine to make sure that I got like certain move. Because I think when it comes to like at least models, like I'm not really that great at posing people, so in a way you can kind of cheat is like just tell them to like move around, and then you can put it like in burst mode, and you can like catch something that looks a certain way. And that's basically what I was doing. I was just snap, 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 snap. I brought home 1,500 pictures.
oh,
No.
fun.
I was like, damn,
Oh,
this is
man.
a wedding. This is a damn wedding. I don't even think I took that many pictures when we did do a wedding. I've never that's a lot of pictures.
I think for our first wedding we hit right around 2,000, and that was both of us.
I mean, I already knew because my camera was like, bitch, what the fuck are you doing? It was reaching the buffer, and it was like slowing down, and I was like, well, we gotta take a little break real quick. Let the A6400 breathe. But I got the shots I wanted. It was just going through them. It was a little bit of a bitch. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with burst mode. It just sucks later on when you're trying to cull them, or it slows your
That's
camera
when you turn them into GIFs.
You can do that too. See, that's the other benefit, turn them into gifts.
All right, so we got so me and Joseph is the same. Mike's in a different type of world, and now last person that could either tie it or win it, Justin.
I'm not tying it for anybody. I'd probably like, I don't know, for models, 10 to 15 photos. I mean, it depends. Like, if I know the look and they nail it, maybe 2 or 3, because I'm gonna like bracket my shots to make sure that I get the lighting that I want to. But I mean, yeah, maybe 5 to 10 at the most. And then we're going to move on to a different pose, or we're going to move to a different lighting scenario or backdrop or something. I don't spend a lot of time with it. I think with the quinceañera photo shoot that I did, like the invitation stuff, I'd take like 2 or 3 shots in each pose, and then I'd move around and I'd try to get a different angle of it, take 2 or 3 shots, and then we move on to the next location. So if I know what I'm looking for, I just need to like narrow down the composition, and I can do that without taking a photo. With my mirrorless camera, the display's got a live view, so I can get it exactly the way I want in camera, line it up, and then take a single shot, and let's go on to the next thing. Like, I don't need to spend 30 minutes taking 1,500 shots of the exact same thing. I can just compose through the live view and move on. So
yeah, I struggle with that.
I think I want to talk about that on next episode. Live view versus shooting through viewfinder, I guess.
Viewfinder.
Sure.
Yeah.
For mirrorless and we'll get into it later. Next episode. It's been fun, guys. We'll see y'all in the next one.
Thanks for coming.
Peace.
Peace.